Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news. Rumors are swirling in NFL circles, and they're pointing to a blockbuster potential trade that could reshape the NFC West, and more specifically, give the Seattle Seahawks a real boost in their quest to secure another Super Bowl appearance. The chatter is about the Detroit Lions, currently sitting at an impressive 9-2 record, and their interest in trading Aiden Hutchinson, their star edge rusher drafted in 2022, to the Seahawks. Now, I know it sounds wild, but hear me out. This isn't just some rumor. There's substance behind it, and if it materializes, it could be a game changer for Seattle's defense, especially their pass rush. First, let's talk about Hutchinson, because he's the kind of player who could elevate any team's defense to the next level. Over his 4 seasons in Detroit, Hutchinson has become a bona fide pressure machine. He's racked up nearly 100 solo tackles, about 50 assists, and more than 30 sacks in his career so far. His PFF grade hovers around 88.2, which is elite, and he boasts a win rate of roughly 21%. His EPA per pressure sits at an impressive 0.26, and he's generated over 300 pressures in his career. In 2025 alone, Hutchinson played 11 games, racking up 5 sacks, 15 QB hits, and forcing 4 fumbles, all while maintaining a PFF grade of 87.5. His ability to consistently pressure the quarterback makes him a nightmare for offenses, a true tornado when he's on the field. Now, why would Detroit consider trading such a pivotal piece? Well, sources indicate that the Lions are juggling their cap space. They have about $11 million left, but they're also in the middle of a roster rebuild, especially on the offensive side. They recently extended St. Brown, which eats into their cap, and they're prioritizing bringing in wide receivers and cornerbacks to bolster their secondary. Plus, there's some skepticism about losing their rush king, which could lead to a drop in sack production. Some estimates suggest a 25% decline, from around 45 sacks to closer to 34. That kind of drop is reminiscent of what happened with the Bears after Mac's departure, losing over 200 pressures from the previous season. For the Seahawks, though, this potential trade could be nothing short of transformative. Imagine Hutchinson lining up alongside Uchenna and Nwasu. Together, these two could form one of the most ferocious pass-rushing duos in the league. If the Seahawks manage to land Hutchinson, projections show they could see an increase of around 25 sacks total, pushing their season total from an already solid 35 up to near 60. That's a massive upgrade and would significantly boost their pressure stats, especially on third downs, where pressures often decide the game. Seattle's defense, which allowed just 19.7 points per game last season, could see that number drop closer to 15, making them even more formidable. One of the aspects that makes Hutchinson so valuable is his consistency. He's a relentless force, relentless in his pursuit of quarterbacks, and he's shown he can handle the pressure of a full NFL season without major injuries. In 2025, he played all 11 games, and his impact was clear. He forced turnovers, pressured the QB, and created mismatches along the line. His ability to generate pressure when the pocket collapses gives Seattle an edge that's been missing at times in recent years. Plus, with the addition of a player like Hutchinson, the Seahawks' front seven would be upgraded by approximately 18% in run-stopping ability, which is crucial in today's NFL, where offenses are more dynamic and versatile. Now, let's take a step back and analyze what this could mean for the overall landscape of the NFC West. The Rams, who have been trying to rebuild and retool, are still dealing with their own issues, but a move like this could push Seattle ahead of them in the standings. The 49ers, of course, remain a powerhouse, but adding Hutchinson would create a new dynamic, giving Seattle a real shot at overtaking them. The division would be more competitive than ever, and the Seahawks would be positioned not just as contenders, but as a team with a clear, aggressive strategy to dominate in the trenches. From a tactical standpoint, this move would also open up new possibilities for the Seahawks' defense. With Hutchinson's ability to rush from multiple angles, Seattle could deploy more exotic blitz packages, confusing offensive lines and creating more sacks and turnovers. It's not just about raw talent. It's about creating mismatches and exploiting weaknesses in the offensive line, and Hutchinson's skill set fits perfectly into that vision. Add to that his knack for making big plays in clutch moments, and you've got a player who can truly be an X-factor for a Seahawks team aiming for a deep playoff run. Of course, a trade of this magnitude wouldn't be without its risks. Detroit is in a good position with Hutchinson, and losing him could impact their pass rush, which has already been a strength for them. But the Lions' management appears to be taking a long-term view, focusing on cap management, roster flexibility, and addressing other positional needs. For Seattle, the gamble might be worth it. They've shown a willingness to go all in when the right player is available, and Hutchinson fits that bill perfectly. His style of play would energize the entire defense, and it would send a message to the rest of the league that the Seahawks are serious about competing at the highest level. Looking ahead, the potential impact on the Seahawks, odds for a Super Bowl run is significant. With Hutchinson, betting odds could improve from around plus 800 to as low as plus 450, reflecting their new status as a top contender. This isn't just about individual stats, it's about team chemistry, mentality, and confidence. Seattle would have a defense capable of imposing its will on opponents, forcing turnovers, and setting up the offense to score more easily. The addition of Hutchinson could be the final piece needed to turn a good team into a true Super Bowl favorite. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The NFL landscape is always shifting, and the Seahawks have been quietly building a core of young, talented players. Geno Smith is still at the helm, leading an offense that's shown flashes of brilliance, and with a game-changing pass rusher like Hutchinson, the team's ceiling rises exponentially. The coaching staff would have a new toy to deploy, and the opposition would have to game plan differently, often double-teaming or scheming around Hutchinson's disruptive presence. That opens up opportunities for other players to shine, like Mafe, who could benefit immensely from Hutchinson's presence on the line. And yes, the fan base is buzzing about the possibilities. Imagine a Seahawks defense that constantly pressures the quarterback, creating chaos and turnovers, while the offense continues to develop under Coach Carroll. The team's identity as a physical, relentless squad would be reinforced, and the city of Seattle could see their team rise back to elite status, challenging the NFC Giants and aiming for that elusive Lombardi trophy once again. In terms of the draft, a trade for Hutchinson might involve a first-round pick in 2026, which is a hefty price, but one that many fans and analysts believe is justified given his talent and potential impact. The Seahawks are known for their smart, strategic moves, and if they can pull off this trade, it would be a statement move, one that signals their intent to contend seriously for the next few years, not just this season but beyond. As we look at the current NFL landscape, it's clear that the teams with the most disruptive pass rushers tend to be the ones hoisting Lombardis. Aaron Donald, Nick Bosa, and others have shown how crucial a dominant edge rusher is to playoff success. Hutchinson, with his relentless motor and ability to create sacks out of seemingly nothing, could be that player for Seattle. And if this move happens, it would send shockwaves through the league, making the Seahawks not only a team to watch but a team feared. This hypothetical trade also sparks conversations about the future of the NFC West. The division is already competitive, with the 49ers and Rams making moves to stay relevant, but adding a player like Hutchinson could tilt the scales in Seattle's favor. It's a bold step, yes, but one that could redefine the team's trajectory for years to come. Fans are dreaming about the possibilities: more sacks, more turnovers, more wins, and ultimately, a shot at reclaiming their spot at the top of the NFC. So, as we await official news and more concrete reports, it's important to remember that the Seahawks are always aggressive when it comes to building a championship-caliber roster. Their front office has shown they're not afraid to make bold moves, and a trade for Aiden Hutchinson would be one of the boldest in recent franchise history. It's about setting a new standard, about defining a new era of Seahawks football, one that's built on relentless pass rush, stout defense, and a team mentality that refuses to back down. This is the kind of move that could energize the entire Seahawks nation, inspire the players, and send a message to the rest of the league. Seattle isn't just here to compete, they're here to dominate. The next few weeks will be crucial, and fans should keep their eyes peeled. If this deal goes through, it might just be the spark that ignites a new Seahawks dynasty. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want to see Hutchinson terrorizing quarterbacks in the Emerald City, helping the Seahawks chase that next Super Bowl title with everything they've got? Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Of course, all of this hinges on the actual negotiations and whether the Lions see the value in parting ways with Hutchinson. But the signs are pointing toward a possibility that, if realized, could be one of the most exciting and impactful trades in recent NFL history. The Seahawks have been patient and strategic, and now they might be on the verge of pulling off a move that redefines their future. The NFL's landscape is always shifting, but one thing is clear. If the Seahawks land Hutchinson, they're not just making a splash, they're making a statement. The defense would become a nightmare for opponents, the pass rush would become legendary, and the team's Super Bowl aspirations would be reignited with a force that's impossible to ignore. So, fans, stay tuned, keep the faith, and get ready for what could be the most exciting offseason in Seahawks history. The path to glory might just have a new, fierce edge rusher leading the charge. And if that happens, Seattle's defense will be remembered as one of the most dominant units in NFL history, and Hutchinson will be celebrated as the key piece that led the Seahawks back to the promised land. It's an exciting time to be a Seahawks fan, and the best is yet to come.